Hey guys, I don't usually share too many personal things on here, but there's been some things going on in our life that is just pretty difficult, and I've had a hard time with it the last week and a half, yesterday morning in particular, and the night before. And one of my son-in-laws reminded me just when I needed it about Psalm 77, and that's what I want to share with you today. It says, I cried unto God with my voice, and he gave ear to me. He heard me. And it goes on and talks. It's a little bit long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I encourage you to. But it was just those moments where you feel so overwhelmed, where you feel like you just can't go on, where you feel like it's hopeless and there's no help. And it's like, where are you, God? I need you to work. I need you to show me something. I need to hear from you. And it's a time where we have to let our faith rise up and cry out to God. And this reminded me to do that. And in these weak moments where you just feel like you don't even have words to speak, where you just can't even move, it goes on to say, I'm not really sure where verse it is down there, but it goes on to say, because I just wrote it out. I wrote the chapter out because I wanted to remember for myself. And it says here, and I said, this is my infirmity, but I will remember the years of your right hand, the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the works of the Lord. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. I will meditate also on all of your work and talk of your doings. Who is so great a God as our God, who does wonders? We are to remember in our weakest moments. We're to remember those things that God has done in the past, those things that God has led us through, those times where he has healed and given us peace, those times where he has worked where only he could work. I remember back, I had been diagnosed with a mitral valve prolapse years ago, and it was confirmed. They saw it on the echocardiogram, and we prayed, and God healed me of that. I no longer have that mitral valve prolapse that causes that funky little thing in there. I am so thankful for that. I remember back in times in my past where God has come through over and over again. My plan this week for me is to write down in my little notebook those times where God has been so faithful over and over and over again. And I'm going to meditate on those. There's a verse, I will meditate also of all thy works. I will talk of your doings. I want to meditate on what God has done, not the circumstances that are now, because I had bad circumstances throughout my years past, and God has been there for me. He helped me when I was overwhelmed. He strengthened me when I was weak. And I will meditate on those things. And as I started to do that yesterday, this praise rose up within me. And God helped me to have victory in that moment. No, the circumstance hasn't changed yet. But God showed me that he's with me. Even through the valley, he's with me. Even though things may not change in my timing, God is with me. He has never left me. He has never forsaken me. He has seen me through so many things over and over and over again. I will meditate on his promises. I will meditate on his word. When he says he will never leave me, I know that he will not. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He's with you every moment of the day. He hears your cry. The very beginning of this chapter says, I cried unto God with my voice, even unto God with my voice, and he gave ear unto me. He heard me. He heard me the first time I spoke. But as I dwelt on the negative, as I dwelt on the circumstance, it wore me down. And it just made my spirit just cry out within me, where I felt like I couldn't go on. It's a weird feeling, but God says, meditate on him. He will see us through. He's always always our hope, our strength, our fortress, my deliverer. In him will I trust. Read through Psalm 77 this week and let it remind you. You know, I also, as I was preparing for today and reading through this verse and actually writing it down, this chapter, I remembered a devotion I did over a year ago, and it was called Remember. And I encourage you to go back and listen to that. It's called Remember. It's on YouTube. I post these on YouTube for a few of you that like to watch it on your big screen, but most of it goes on Facebook. But go back and listen to that if you get a chance. It encouraged me. I also listened to that. A lot of verses about how faithful God has been, how faithful He shows up right when we need Him to. So meditate on Him today. Have a good week.